Dead by Daylight's animations have always been something that's considered to be highly controversial. Some players prefer the charm and junkiness of the old animations, while others deny this, saying that they feel outdated, clunky and unsatisfying. But regardless of all of that, DBD is now close to being 8 years old, and there's no denying that almost all animations in the game have received pretty significant changes throughout this time. In this video we're going to take a look at the entire evolution of the game's animations. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Dead by Daylight's early prototypes were made in the Unity game engine and did feature some animations, but these were very primitive and only acted as blueprints for the ones that would eventually become part of the game. After some time though, the developers went to Toronto for a motion capture session in order to bring a little bit more life into the final animations for Dead by Daylight. And this is actually where most of the original survivor interactions for the game were created, as confirmed by Matthew Cote in a developer livestream from 2017.
90% of the footage for the survivors has been mocap on a very small little girl.
As for the killer animations, most of them were pretty much finished by early 2016, despite the fact that the developers were not that happy with how the motion capture sessions went in regard to killer animations. And so Dead by Daylight was officially released on the 14th of June 2016. At that time, survivors ran in a kind of funny way and sort of galloped if they were injured. Still, I find these little imperfections charming in their own way. Now, most of the animations back then were kind of long, especially for killers, at least compared to how they currently are. For instance, hooking survivors took 2 seconds instead of 1.5, and pallet breaking was 3 seconds instead of the current 2.34. In addition, picking up survivors was also kind of slow, and the animations as a whole were a little simplistic, so to say. An example of this is the fact that the generator repairing interaction was the same for all sides of the gen, contrary to how it currently is. Memento Mori animations were also fairly simple and not as complex as they are now, which I honestly don't really mind. I know that some people are begging for the older Moris to get reworked, but to be fair, I'm a big fan of the cinematography in the raid skilling animation. I do agree, however, that the Trapper one is a little uninteresting. However, something that in my opinion looked a lot cooler back then was how killers grabbed survivors off of window votes and pallets. As you can see, the survivor really tries their best to cling onto the window and escape, however they get overpowered by the killer. In comparison to this, the current grab animation is straight up a downgrade from the original, and I honestly have no idea why it was even changed in the first place. Now, up to now I've only been describing how things were in the past, so let's get into the actual changes to DBD's animations. The first substantial change was made in patch 4.2.0, that being part 1 of the Realm Beyond update, a massive visual overhaul of almost all of the game's props, environments and characters. 4.2.0 added new animations for generator repairs, according to which side of the gen you are repairing. These are by far a lot more detailed in comparison to the old animation, and they also each have their own sounds and visual effects. In addition, this update introduced a new animation for chest opening, where the survivor slowly tries to open the chest's lock. Even though this new animation technically replaced the old one, I'm pretty sure that the original is still being utilized for rummaging, or at least a variation of it. Let me know down in the comments if you see the resemblance. But by far the update that was most impactful to DBD's animations was 4.5.0. This was the Realm Beyond Part 4, and apart from the complete graphical updates to the Crota's Pren Asylum and Gideon Meat Plant realms, this patch also implemented brand new animations and locomotion for almost all major survivor movement interactions. This included running, walking, crouching, crawling and even getting up from the dying state. And this right here sparked one of the biggest controversies and debates in the game's entire history. See, people were so used to these old animations for more than 4 years, and changing everything all of a sudden made some people quite upset. Not to mention that for some players, the old animations simply just looked better and felt more satisfying and fluid. I am personally pretty used to the ones that we currently have in the game, but I wouldn't mind at all if the developers, for whatever reason, decided to bring back the originals. Now, over the years several other animations were also changed, for example the one while shining a flashlight, And thank God for that, since the old one was genuinely seizure inducing, and I'm already getting a headache just from watching this. Furthermore, Memento Mori animations also received a glow up, so to say. They went from being simple slashes to actual really well thought out poses and animations that have something to do with either the killer's lore, power, or overall character. Some killers even received more than one kill animation, for instance the clown who chops off a different finger depending on whether the survivor is male or female, or twins where the Mori is dependent on whether Victor is with you or not. We also can't forget to mention that killer animations overall got a lot, and I mean a lot, more creative over time. The killer that I think best represents this is Pinhead, who literally has a custom and unique animation for almost every interaction in the game. Another example is Chucky, who probably has the coolest picking up animation out of every killer so far. But not all animations in the game currently are that innovative, as some of them are straight up reused from other interactions. For instance, the totem blessing animation is reused when collecting paper lanterns, communing with green glyphs, getting snow skulls from a snow pile, and probably something else that I'm forgetting about. As for killers, the hatch closing interaction is also reused when kicking pumpkins, snuffing boon totems, and collecting the gnome Chomsky charm, which is no longer possible. Regardless, I got a little off topic there, so let's get back into the actual video. Now, during the 2023 Haunted by Daylight Halloween event, Naughty Bear was added to DBD as a skin for the Trapper, and this was a big step up from the old Mori animation for this killer, although it is only accessible by buying a set outfit for the character. A few weeks later, a brand new animation for Nemesis vaccines was also implemented in the game, and in my opinion this one looks really cool. Unfortunately, however, it seems that lately behavior has been kind of fumbling in terms of animations, and when I heard that they were introducing a special one for Decisive Strike, I was originally really excited for that. But what the hell even is this, man? It looks so bad. Also, the exclusive Mori for the new Hunter skin is kind of goofy and a bit awkward. 2/3 of the whole thing is literally just the killer standing around and doing nothing. At least DBD didn't fumble as bad in terms of animations compared to how Fortnite fumbled a couple of months ago. Now, among all of these changes that we've taken a look at so far, there are still multiple animations in the game that haven't yet received any changes. These include the failing skill check interaction, the general pallet breaking animations, and the regular healing animation for survivors. There are probably more unchanged ones, but these are those that I could think off the top of my head. And this is where our story ends. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know by leaving a comment, as I would really appreciate it. Well, I guess that was it. We went through the entire evolution of Dead by Daylight's animations. I sincerely hope that you all enjoyed this video and that you learned something new from it. If you did, then make sure to click the like button down below, and also I would be glad if you would consider subscribing as well, since we're literally so close to reaching 7k subs. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!